Hello and a very warm welcome to World This Week by Latest Laws. This is our weekly program, so subscribe and press the bell icon to get notified. My name is Monica Rahar and let's get started by having a look at Supreme Court this week. While hearing a public interest litigation which was filed by a woman commuter against the blocking of roads connecting Delhi with Noida due to the ongoing farmers' protest, a bench of the top court led by Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul has made the government of Haryana a party in this particular matter. The court, while doing so, has observed that public roads cannot be blocked in protest and there should be free flow of traffic on roads. A three-judge bench of the top court has stated that persons above the age of 18, they are free to choose their religion, and the court also refused to entertain this particular plea, which has sought directions to the centre and to the states to control black magic and religious conversions. In another case, the Apex Court has rejected a plea to stop the government from deporting to Myanmar some 150 Rohingya Muslims who were detained last month, thus paving the way for them to be sent to a country where hundreds have been killed so far following a military coup. Amazon has moved the top court challenging the Delhi High Court's division bench order dated 22nd of March, which had vacated a stay on Future Group from proceeding further with its deal to sell its assets to Reliance Industries. Amazon, in this particular plea, has sought the stay while terming it as, I quote, illegal, random, unequitable and unfair. The Supreme Court Women Lawyers Association has moved the Apex Court seeking fair representation of women among High Court judges and cited their deplorable low presence in constitution courts. The government of Maharashtra has approached the top court challenging the Bombay High Court's order, which has directed the Central Bureau of Investigation to carry out preliminary probe into the former Mumbai Police's Chief Paramveer Singh's allegations against ex-Home Minister Anil Deshmukh. The Supreme Court has stayed a Karnataka High Court order restoring a corruption complaint filed by a private investor against Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa in connection with the housing project proposal for middle and low income group on 26 acres in Bengaluru. Now let's proceed to the next segment of our news analysis and have a look at the Delhi High Court this week. A matrimonial dispute cannot be the reason to revoke a person's passport without giving him an opportunity of being heard, stated the High Court. A bench led by Justice M. Pratibha M. Singh has stated that revocation of a passport, it was a strong measure and it cannot be done without even giving the person affected an opportunity of being heard. In another matter, the court has stated that sanitation workers who are employed by the municipal corporations, they do have a right to protest against the non-payment of their salaries, but having said so, they cannot create nuisance or do gundagardi by throwing garbage on roads and also by restraining their fellow staff workers from working. A plea has been moved before the High Court seeking direction to constitute a body to screen and ban all known film songs which are available on the internet which are having obscene or vulgar content with immediate effect. Now in the next segment, let's have a look at the Bombay High Court. The Aurangabad bench of the Bombay High Court has refused to detain an adult girl who had eloped with a 20-year-old man after she appeared before the court pursuant to a habeas corpus petition filed by her father. The High Court has refused to accept a compromise affidavit instituted by the complainant in a case which was registered against a man accused of assaulting her. The bench stated that the motive of Vishakha guidelines will not be secured if the complainant is compelled to withdraw her complaint. Now in the next segment, let's have a look at the Allahabad High Court. A single-judge bench of the High Court of Allahabad has, in the case of Mohammad Nadeem versus the state of UP, observed that freedom of speech and expression, it is not an absolute license to injure and hurt the religious sentiments, feelings and faith of other people. Now let's proceed with the miscellaneous segment of our news analysis. The Sessions Court recently has dismissed a defamation complaint filed by Deputy Commissioner of Police Abhishek Trimukhe against Republic TV Editor-in-Chief Arnav Goswami, his wife and AGR Outlier Media Private Limited. The court has held that the complaint filed it was not in conformation with the law prescribed. 45 names have been forwarded to the Apex Court by the central government for appointment as High Court judges, including 5 lawyers of the High Court of Punjab and Haryana. The Delhi State Legal Services Authority has postponed the conduct of National Lok Adalat, which was scheduled to be held for Saturday due to the growing number of COVID cases in Delhi. The Enforcement Directorate has stated before a special court that TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee's wife and her sister, they were both paid substantial amount in London and Thailand by the key accused in the West Bengal illegal coal mining case. Abhishek is the nephew of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has imposed a penalty of Rs 25 crore on the Ambani family and firms linked to the promoter group for violation of takeover code regulations in the year 2000. Chief Justice of India S.A. Bobde has welcomed the introduction of an artificial intelligence-based portal in the judicial system which is aimed at assisting the judges with legal research more efficiently and systematically, but the CJI has also stated that it will not be allowed to spill over into decision-making. The newly appointed Chief Justice of India, Justice N.V. Ramana, has stated that the most vulnerable sections of the society, they often fall prey to human rights violations and atrocities either from the state or from anti-social elements. Justice Ramana has been appointed the 48th Chief Justice of India. He urged young lawyers to educate the poor and the vulnerable about their rights. Now let's proceed with the last segment of our news analysis, which is the international news. A US court has postponed the in-person extradition hearing of Pakistani origin Canadian businessman Tahawoor Rana, who is sought for his involvement in the 2008 Mumbai terror attack. The Supreme Court of Brazil has ordered the Senate to investigate the government's handling of the COVID crisis. The full bench court ruled that churches can be barred from reopening during the crisis subsistence. This further has strained the relationship between the judiciary and the president of the country. That's all we have for this week. The link of all these news updates, they are made available in the description section for your kind consideration. Thank you for being with us.